Hello everybody and welcome to Rewind the Lesson. My name is Margaret, and in today's video I will be answering the frequently asked questions with regards to completing a postgraduate certificate in education. Now, a quick disclaimer before I get into the video. I am currently dealing with a flu and my voice is sounding a bit husky, so please do excuse me. And yeah, I've got my ginger and lemon tea here and I'll be sipping on that as I deliver today's content. Without wasting any more of your time, let us get into today's video. First things first, I think it's important for us to have an understanding of what a PGCE is. It is a postgraduate certificate in education that is offered by majority of the universities and private tertiary institutions across the world. Now, a PGCE is offered by the Faculty of Education, and the purpose of this qualification is almost to bridge the gap between what you've learned in your undergraduate degree and also being able to translate that knowledge into teachable content in the classroom context. What are the minimum requirements of entry? So I've already filmed a video where I spoke about my experience of completing my PGCE at the University of the Witwatersrand. But obviously in that video, it's very specific to my experience at WITS, and it does not necessarily speak to the other institutions that are available or that offer the same qualification. However, the minimum requirement is for you to have completed a undergraduate degree in any field, pretty much. Where can I complete this qualification? So majority of the state-owned universities do offer this qualification. I'm talking about your WITS, your UJ, your University of Pretoria, University of Cape Town, your Rhodes, University of KZN, and some private institutions also offer this qualification. So Cornerstones, the most popular one these days is Stadio, Menkosa, Varsity College. How long does it take for you to complete this qualification? If you are studying full-time, it'll take you 1 year to complete this qualification. If you're studying part-time, it'll take you 2 years. On that point, I think it's relevant for me to also just bring across this message. So if you are trying to complete your postgraduate certificate in education and you're trying to find a bursary or like some funding, I'd say with Funza Lusaka, they would fund your PGCE if you are studying full-time. Now, when you're studying part-time, it can be somewhat of a challenge to find or get a bursary, but don't give up, okay? Knock on those doors. And then job opportunities. So when you are doing your PGCE, obviously you'll be having to do your teaching practicals, and this means you're going into schools and doing your practicals. Now, some people have had the fortune of going into a school, doing their teaching practicals, and once they're done with their qualification, the very same school hires them and they become a teacher at that school. But that is not the case for every single person that you will come across. However, there is quite a bit of job opportunity within the education sector, especially when you've now acquired your PGCE. There are other roles that you can step into, but I think the most popular one is obviously teaching. This is not me being ignorant of the fact that there's a high unemployment rate in South Africa. Yes, but if you do actually look up these job opportunities, they are there. But besides just South Africa, don't be constrained, guys. Don't confine yourselves just to South Africa. When you've got this qualification, you can go on and teach overseas as well. There are quite a number of opportunities open out there in the world ready for you to just grab onto them. Okay, so there's frequently asked questions, and then there's the most frequently asked question with regards to completing a PGCE is, can I proceed to complete my master's in education once I'm done with my PGCE? Personally, I've had the experience of inquiring on this very same thing and trying to complete my master's. And the response that I've gotten from the institutions that I did check in with was, I completed an honors equivalent degree, right? So my undergrad was not 3 years, it was actually 4 years because it was honors equivalent. Meaning, if I was staying in the same field, I could very easily go on and complete my master's. But now, because I was doing this whole entire transition into the education field, completing my PGCE meant this is still on the same level as the NFQ level 7. NFQ means National Qualifications Framework. So NFQ level 7, that is your undergraduate degree. NFQ level 8, that is your honors. NFQ level 9, that is your master's. And then level 10, it is your PhD. So technically, in my field, I am on NFQ level 8. And then with the PGCE, it is on NFQ level 7, meaning it is an undergraduate degree equivalent. Okay. For you to be able to complete a master's in education, you would still need to attain an honors in education. However, okay, important. However, if you've completed an honors in whatever field and you're looking to do your master's in education, they might give you a specialization of saying you're going to get your master's in education, specializing in your field. I don't know if that makes sense. So I did a BA in dramatic art, and for me to be able to complete a master's in education, I'd be completing a master's in education specializing in performing arts. If you want a master's in education where you can actually specialize in things like higher education, education technology, education policy, and you would need to first complete the honors in education. Now, the final question that I'll be answering with regards to these FAQs is it still necessary for me to complete a PGCE if I have intentions of working in higher education as a lecturer, but not necessarily teaching in primary school or high school? My answer to that would be completing a PGCE would empower you and give you some practical knowledge in terms of how to teach a class. A lot of the lectureship positions that are being advertised, they don't necessarily need for you to have a PGCE. Usually the requirements are for you to have your undergrad, your master's, and your PhD. So having a PGCE would just be for you to empower yourself with the knowledge of knowing how to teach. So basically knowing the teaching methodologies. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Please stay tuned for the next video and also subscribe. Subscribe so that I can upload videos every single week. Goodbye.